Hello my sewing bees. Today I've been given another project to do from an elderly lady down the road. She wants this cushion covering. So as you can see, it's a rounded edge. So what I'll do is I will take you through the different stages from measuring out so that you know how much material you need, to cutting out and putting it all back together. Okay, so I'm going to take you through the measuring stage now. Well, actually, I've measured the cushion that I'm going to cover, but I've actually done some drawings and hopefully I'll be able to take you through them. But before I show you the way I work out how much material you need, I just want to stress that if you've got a pattern material, then it's a totally different thing, because obviously you get a lot of wastage with pattern, but the material I'm using is plain, so this is how I go about finding out how much material I need. Okay, so like I said, I've actually measured out the cushion, and this is the drawings that I've come up with. This is my drawings, this is how I do it. Measured the widest point, which is 50 centimetres, and the longest point, which was 48 centimetres. Then you add 2 centimetres on for any seams, which becomes, the 50 becomes 52 and the 48 becomes 50, which is virtually a square. Then what I've done is I've drawn out what I would consider to be my material. My supplier usually sells it by the width of 150 centimetres. So I need to work out how much length I need of the material. Now I'm covering 2 cushions, so that would be cushion 1 top, cushion 1 bottom, cushion 2 top, cushion 2 bottom. So as you can see, there's the measurements of the cushion. Oh, sorry, not the cushion, of the material. So that's going to take me, the 50 and the 50 is going to take me to 100. So left over would be 50 centimetres. Now the length of it is 52, add 52, which would be 104. So that would give me a piece of material left on over 104 by 50 centimetres. Now that will then help me to do the panelling around the cushion. So I need to work out to see if I've got enough in that 104 by 50 to do the panelling. Now these little markers here are where I'm going to be doing seams, so I've added a centimetre on for each one of them. So all the way around my cushion, the measurement came to 170, but then I've added on 1 centimetre per seam that I'm going to be doing there to panel it, which would come to 178 centimetres. So then I need a piece that's 178 centimetres, and the depth is 5 centimetres. I'll tell you why I got the 9 centimetres in a minute. And that would be my piece over. So then I'd need to work out how much, if I can get enough material. Sorry, I'll start that. If I can get enough to do the panelling. So I need something that's 170 by 9 centimetres. And as you can see, it's 104 by 50 centimetres. So the 170 there, it's not long enough. But because I'm panelling, these are going to be cut up into strips. So I've got loads of material over there, because it's 50 centimetres wide, and I only need 9 centimetres. Now where to get the 9 centimetres and not the 5, as you can see there, it's only 5 centimetres wide, is because I'm going to be putting a zip. If we look here, this is the back of the cushion, you see, where it goes into the seat. So I'm going to be putting a zip at the back there. So to do my zip, I need 2 pieces of material. Now when these are joined together, it needs to come to 5 centimetres. And the way to do this is you need your 5 centimetres, and then you need to add a centimetre on here. So your overall would measure 5 centimetres, but you need a seam here, a seam there to attach your zip, 1 there and 1 there. So you add 1, 2, 3, 4 centimetres on, which would give you the 9 centimetres. And that, if you come back, we'd have enough material out of the the bit that's left over. So therefore I need a piece of material that's 150 centimetres wide by 104 in length, and that's how I worked out how much material I'd need. Obviously there's probably an easier way, but that's how I do it, and I've never had a problem, and I have very, very little material over. But I must stress again, if you're using a pattern, to take this into consideration, because you do get a lot of wastage over with a pattern. Okay, so I've laid my material out on the table. What I've done is I've doubled over the material, because then by cutting once, you're going to get double the cushions out. So basically, I've marked out, I don't know if you can see here in like a pink mark, the 50, look at that. So it's going to be 50 by 52, and that's what I've done. So I've marked out as a square, first of all. I know the cushion's not a square, but I've marked them out as a square, and I'm going to cut those out now. I don't know if you can see that. So there's my middle line. So that'll be cushion 1, top and bottom, and cushion 2, top and bottom. And then obviously this bit here is the excess. What I did then was I drew around the cushion, leaving roughly a centimetre for my seam. So when I take the cushion off, you can see the overall shape. Now I'm going to cut that out now. Right, I just want to stress that when you fold your material over before you cut it, make sure that you fold it so that the right sides are facing each other and you've got the wrong sides. You're going to cut on it and mark on that. I've cut my top and bottom out now. Now, I'm going to put a zip in the back of the cushion. So again, this is the shape of the cushion, and I'm going to put a zip here. Now I needed to work out whereabouts on the material I'm going to put the zip. So what I did was I measured all the way around, which came to 122 centimetres. Then I took away the length of the zip that I'm putting in, which is 51. That leaves 71 centimetres. So 71 centimetres is this remaining down the sides here. Now I need to know the length that these are going to be. So I divided that 71 by 2, which comes out at 35.5 centimetres. So that is the length from the bottom to there. So what I did was I measured the length, 35 from here, right up to there, and then I've marked it zip, so that I know when I come to attach my zip, that's where I'm going to start. And then I've done it on the other side there, and then I've basically, when I folded it over, creased it, and I've marked it on the back so that I know exactly where my zip is going to go on both sides of the material. Okay, right, I've marked out and I've cut out all the material. I mark on each piece what it's for. So basically this is going to make up the zip, and I put zip 2 because that's cushion 2. That's the SP is the side panels, F means the front of it, and then you've got your facings here. So basically when it comes on your cushion, you'll be able to see how it fits together. There's the cushion underneath. So you've got your face, which is your top and your bottom. Then you've got your front bit that goes at the front here. Your side panels go at the side, and then this is your zip bit that goes around there. So they're all the pieces. Now if you look here, this long piece, that is all I have left out of the material. So I do think that drawing it saves you money in the end. Right, the original cushion cover had this piping around, so I'm going to be putting a piping in my cushion. Now I've chosen this material, and that's my piping. I call it rope, piping rope. I've measured out 5 centimetres wide, and I've measured out all around, and it came to 177. I gave it a little bit more, and I'll show you why when I come to sew it together. So I've measured 5 wide, and then because I've doubled it over, I've taken it down to 90 just to give me a little bit extra material for making a neat job at the very end, and I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to cut this piping material out now. Okay, I'm coming to cover the piping now. I'm using what I call a zipper foot, and if you can see, the needle gets very close to the rope, so it leaves a nice neat edge. I've actually caught the rope into the material there. Basically, that stops it pulling through the material when you're putting everything together. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew as close to that rope as I can all the way down. Right, my piping is now covered. I just want to point out that as you come to the end of your piping, leave it opened like that. I'll explain why in a minute. Also, when you come to start sewing, start about an inch away from the end of the material, and again I'll show you why in a minute. And I'm going to sew this onto the face of the cushion all the way around, and I'll show you the ending. Right, I'm coming to the edge. I'm coming to the end of attaching the piping to the facing. Now, as I said, leave that open. What you're going to do is you're going to fold the edges over so you've got the raw edges on the inside. I'm not sure, finding this quite difficult with one hand. And then what you want to do is the other end you want to put inside that so that when it's all fitted in, it's encased and the rough edges on the inside. I'll try and show you at the end now. I'm attaching the zip to the material now. This is the first one, so right side of your zip facing the right side of the material. Okay, keeping the edges together, and the needle goes right next to the line of the zip. Right, the zip's inside the material now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back under the machine, and I'm going to sew a line of stitching down there to secure the material and give it a neater finish. When I do this stitching along the edge, you need the edge of the foot next to the zipper, not the other way around like when we're attaching the zip where the needle is near the zipper. This time you need the foot. Okay, so I've attached the front panelling, which goes at the front of the cushion, to the two side panels. There's one, there's the other one, and I've also attached the zip to it all. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the side panel to just underneath where I've put the zip, and I'm going to sew it all the panelling all the way around. So before I fit the final bottom facing, I just check that everything fits nice and snug over the foam. As you can see, there's the zip part, and then we just attach the backing now. Right, so everything's attached now, zips in. Just a word of warning, when you're actually sewing everything together, make sure that you keep part of your zip open so that you can turn it the right way around. I'm going to turn it the right way around now, put the sponge in, and I'll show you the finished piece. Right, it's all finished now. It's all in the sponge, or the foam, whatever you call it. There's your zip in place. I only used one lot of piping on this. The original, if you look at it, it's piped round the sides. Plus also, I think if I did it again, I'd use a thinner piping, whereas it was quite thick, this one. I'm not really happy with that, but it's only for sitting on anyway. And it's a lot thicker sponge. I'm just waiting for everything to settle down, but yeah, I'm quite pleased with the finished one.